The Liverpool Daily Post and Echo, in association with Read in Partnership, present a business debate, the Read Debate.
No, when VAT goes up, it's going to get worse.
What about the public sector cuts? Is that going to have an impact as well?
I think everyone's going to be really struggling in a year from now. And I think my advice to everybody would be cash in hand, every man for himself.
Tony, some very strong views there. Is it every man for themselves?
I think that's a very strong view. Obviously, one I wouldn't condone. Definitely not cash in hand. I think we've all moved beyond there. But I think we've got to be careful, as Kim said earlier, in the fact that we don't talk ourselves into a much worse situation that we're actually in. I mean, I've not got the same kind of information and facts that Martin has, but fundamentally the rate of unemployment isn't rising anywhere near as quickly as people think, and actually it is just slowly trickling down. So the media needs to be quite responsible as well in not actually, making it out. Of course, it's very difficult for the people involved, and as mentioned earlier, sympathise completely with them, because they're going to have to retrain, they're going to have to learn. Individual stories are going to be tough, but ultimately the total level, the aggregate level of unemployment has maintained been fairly consistent. So we've got to be realistic about it. I think every man for himself, and let's get in the bunker is wide of the mark.
Actually, there's a sort of media narrative about Liverpool, and we've got to say Liverpool is a city on the up, and we're going to work hard to keep it that way.
But there's also the personal experience as well on the street.
Of course.
His particular concern, and I wonder, Tony, if you, with your business hat on now, shed some light on this, the 20% VAT increase.
Yep.
Is that going to hurt your business?
I think it's going to hurt business in the short term, inevitably. It's not just the increase in VAT, which is
unfortunate. Growth could be a bit slower.
Which is unfortunate but necessary to balance the books. And I'll go even further, Bill, in the fact that we're going to get future inflation coming through from China in the form of higher prices of goods coming through as well. So, it is going to be, especially the first quarter of 2011, is going to be quite tough. There are going to be shocks.
And as well as those sort of issues, Kim, that the last video John and Gino spoke about, he clearly distributes a degree of pessimism there. Is that pessimism something that's hard to change in people?
Do you know,
is it still a fact of life here on Merseyside?
No, I don't think it is. I think, of course, it is with a number of people, and you'll get different answers depending on that individual situation. But it is about individuals, it really is. And if 1,000 people are applying to Tesco's, let's work with those 1,000 people. You're not going to be able to work with everyone, but none of us have mentioned the youth of Liverpool. That is so key. And we are trying to do something about the youth unemployment in the city, because although we have been resilient in the city, one of the worrying aspects of unemployment has been the increase in unemployment amongst young people. We're introducing the Liverpool Apprenticeship to try and work with businesses to encourage them to take young people on.
Let's put that point about apprenticeships to our two business people here. Steve, would you recruit an apprentice? Are you recruiting an apprentice?
No,
or two?
currently not.
Why wouldn't you recruit apprentices?
Because, very openly and honestly, I think at this moment in time where we are is that we hear a lot from different organisations about the apprenticeship scheme and what it offers and what it delivers. But actually, when you're in business and you've got to take on a number of apprentices and then suddenly you've got to take them back out of your business for a period of time, that doesn't work for a business at the moment in time. And I think part of the strategy has to be is that how you can get these people delivered into a business and actually be in there rather than having to take them out for a period of time. That has been our
That's exactly what we're providing with the apprenticeship programme. We're providing funding to encourage you to take them on, to reduce your wage bill, and we're also providing a system where if through any reason you can no longer provide employment for the apprenticeship during the apprenticeship programme, they can come back to us and we can look for another
But
place.
Martin, is that not a problem if Steve's worried about employing someone and having to let them go, and Kim's telling us that maybe they'll have to be found a new job? They're being passed from pillar to post. Do you find people come to you feeling that they've been passed from pillar to post?
People have had that experience, although it's important, I think, to support people through that perception as well. The alternative is to withdraw from the labour market altogether, and that's not in anybody's interest. So if people's experience at work has not been as positive as they would have liked, it's up to us to work with them to create that resilience and enable them to get back in there and be employed.
Well, I hope that doesn't depress you too much as the festive season draws upon us. If you're worried about things, how they might work out next year, hopefully you will be able to be one of those that find a new job in the private sector as that expands in the coming months. But that pretty much brings us to an end of this discussion. It just remains for me to say thank you to all our panel for taking part, and from me, Bill Gleeson, the whole team here at the Daily Post, goodbye.